Mr. Lightfoot, good afternoon.
Yes, hello. How are you? All right. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes,
Good? Yes? All
Yes,
right.
yes.
Well, I will say good evening, everyone. Welcome to the monthly Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition monthly meeting. My name is Councilman Willie Lightfoot, Councilman at Large and Chairman of Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition. We are welcome, each and every one of you here. Hopefully, you will see the agenda in the chat. It is a very, very beautiful, warm day in Rochester, New York. And we have had a extremely busy, if you will, weekend. A very violent weekend this weekend with officers involved, shootings and things of that nature. So I'm sure we may have a few questions tonight, and we look forward to getting an update from Captain Mura on the condition of the officers and those involved. Hopefully, people are doing well. But before we get started, we'll start with a moment of silence as we traditionally do, thinking about all of the victims of violence, and also continue to keep in our thoughts and our prayers for that family of the young man that fell in the river as well. We want to continue. So our understanding is that the body has still not been retrieved, and so we want to continue to keep them in our hearts and prayers as well too. So at this time, we'll have a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, if this is your first time attending a Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition meeting, I would ask for you, please, sir, please, ma'am, if you would unmute. I would just let you know that our information for our Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition is on the city website. You can go to cityofrochester.gov/think about it, and all of the information concerning the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition organizational charts, our partners, and minutes and information to the meetings our encounter to the meetings are there. We also stream these meetings live on the City Council YouTube page. So you're welcome to visit that page, share this link with other of your circle and your network if you want to let them be involved in this information that we're sharing here tonight. Again, welcome all of our partners. And if this is your first time attending a Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition meeting, we ask that if you would, please, sir, please, ma'am, if you would unmute and just identify yourself and maybe agency or who you represent. All right. It looks like everyone are regulars, so that's good. We'll go right into, thank you for putting that in the chat, Dassy. We'll go right into our agenda, and we'll start with the Office of Violence Prevention. Zeke?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Councilman Lightfoot. Yeah, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I'll just provide a few updates as pertain to gun violence with the Office of Violence Prevention. So uh, later this summer, we will be doing, I'll get the dates to you guys, but we will be doing community training sessions where we will be going out to the community, and will be we've partnered with the community for, let me not mistake this. Um, Center for Dispute Settlement, excuse me. So we've partnered with those guys in an effort to provide training, real life training to the citizens of our community. So we do have a date. We do have a training curriculum that we do have established for that day. And right now we're just in the middle of just marketing that date out to the community so we can get a good output. But what we're looking to do again, we're looking to trickle down the effects of the trainings that we do. We know that a lot of the de-escalation and conflict resolution trainings work for our staff as they go out to the community and they do the work that they do. But we also know that those trainings don't just stop with our staff. We know that we can pass that to our actual community, to the people that are in our community, to do some of those trainings. We know that's sort of strengthening that gap and closing that gap where we see some of that fall off when you're doing a lot of trainings and you're spending a lot of time with your young people, and then all of a sudden they go back home and you're scratching your head trying to figure out, well, what happened to all the work that we've done? Well, that's because it's not being echoed and reiterated at home. And we know that this isn't an end all be all, but this is a step in moving that direction to be able to close that gap of some of those training, those concerns that we have when we do put a lot of work into the community, but we see it's not always echoed. So this is an attempt that we're going to be doing. This is a series that we'll be doing throughout the year and possibly for years to come as we attempt to do more training with our community. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. I see that Wanda's on the line on the call as well, and I'm glad that she's on the call because I want to speak a little bit about our gun violence Wear Orange event, anti-gun violence Wear Orange event that we did June 6th. I believe that was 2 Fridays ago, where that was a great turnout for those that were able to make it. Thank you for coming out. And it was a collaborative effort from a lot of different agencies. Rise Up, definitely been one of them. Mom Demands Action, another one. And just different organizations that we had that collaborated that were very instrumental to bringing that event to our city and making sure that it continues. I know that's something that Wanda and Deb and Josie has done for years for our community, and we were able to collaborate with those guys to do that event this year, and it was very successful. A little bit on the pathways end. Right now, we know that school is practically over, but we know kids are still coming to school each day for their exams and whatnot. So we're all over that. We have staff stationed to make sure that there is no violent and there's no interruptions for those individuals that need to go out and take their test. Um, and for some things to come, and I'll be giving you guys more dates as we get closer to those events. But we do have some cool things that we're going to be doing, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this the last time that I was on the call, but I do want to put it out there. I know Choose Wisdom was a campaign that was headed up by the late great Victor Saunders, and that's something that we are going to relaunch, reimagine, and we're going to put a couple events together this summer that are kind of in the realm of Choose Wisdom. So you guys definitely be on the outlook for Choose Wisdom as OVP do more work that's putting out that campaign that I know Victor was so passionate about making sure that the community was able to take advantage of that campaign and the work that was under that campaign. So we will be relaunching that. You guys will hear a lot about that and events that's entailed with that. And that's all I got for today, Councilman Lightfoot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Zeke.
I think probably a good start. I know there's only a few of y'all, but you can start with it and just put the idea.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can
All
hear
right,
you.
thank you, Zeke. I appreciate that. Does anybody have any questions for Zeke? All right. We're gonna go right into RPD update.
Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone's staying cool. Make sure you stay hydrated and keep your family, friends, and pets hydrated as well. I'm gonna get right into this and get some of these stats out of the way. Because there's a couple of questions. The stats specifically for guns taken off the street were for May, but I have the shootings and homicides up to date, and that's as far as yesterday. So let me get right into the shootings. To date, 58 incidents with 65 victims. The median age of the victim is 27 years old. Homicides, 15. I believe that might be up one. I'm not sure exactly when the stats were updated. Guns to date for May, we took 37 handguns off the street, 10 long guns, and 6 ghost guns. Out of all the arrests for May, we had 50 criminal possession of weapon arraignments in Monroe County, 8 individuals were held without bail, 39 individuals had cash, bail, or bond set. And of those cases, 16 individuals had the cash bail set at $5,000 or less. 3 individuals were released with non-monetary conditions. And there's a myriad of other statistics with relation to demographics and age and things of that nature that are attached to the email that Dassey has and she'll be sending out to the group. That's all I have for statistics. I will say that, in light of the homicide over the weekend and the officer involved shooting, RPD has a very thick presence on Clinton Avenue today and probably for the immediate time being. And this morning I sent my guys out from the violence prevention section, and probably within the first hour of being out on Clinton Avenue, they stepped out with an individual they were familiar with, got into a foot chase with them, and ended up recovering another handgun. So that wasn't included in those statistics, but it just shows the kind of work that the guys are doing every day, trying to keep everybody safe in the community. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Councilman, for any questions or anything that we have.
Yes. The first question I have, thank you, Captain Murphy, for the update. We'll be sending out the actual statistical updates to all of the group and partners with the minutes of this meeting in the very near future. My first question, Captain Mura, is how there. My understanding from the reports that I've saw on TV was the officer that was involved in the officer involved shooting was injured in some way.
Yeah, so the officer was injured. He was, to the best of my knowledge, he was not shot. He was just injured while taking the individual into custody. It's a minor injury
Okay.
also, I might say.
Right. Now, there's two things that you said that will bring about, I think very, very important questions from this group, especially since a lot of the work, our focus has been around data and has been this year and has been around the gun trace data report. The second one that we're doing in my report later, I'll give everyone an update on where we are in regards to that. But and I know this information may not be available right now, but I just, there's a gun you said that was taken off in a foot chase on Clinton, and then I'm assuming the gun that was used in the officer involved shooting to shoot at the officer, was that gun also retrieved?
Yes, sir, that's accurate. So that's 2 guns in 2 days off Clinton Avenue.
And I think that's outstanding. However, the next question becomes, where are these guns coming from? Where did these 2 guns come from?
Yeah, one of the
That's
guns, the one investigation is ongoing, and I'm not, excuse me, I'm not privy to that information. The gun that was recovered today, I believe, was a ghost gun. They're still compiling the data and all the information on that particular arrest, but I believe that particular gun was a ghost gun.
But the one used in the officer involved shooting was a 9mm, correct?
I do not have any of that information yet. And quite frankly, yeah. I don't know that I could release it until he's indicted, and my understanding is
I understand that.
Yeah.
It was reported on the news that it was, and I'm not looking for you to give out any information, but what I'm just making a point. And the point is that this is, I think, evidence to what this coalition has been advocating for in regards around the data and how important this information is into connecting all of the dots. And here we have a very current situation where clearly we know this was a felon person because all that's been reported, and we know it was a 9mm that's been reported. But what we don't know is where the gun came from, and that's something in the future, as this case unfolds, that we want to be paying very, very close attention to, because I believe in the last report, gun trace data report that we did, it was mentioned of a gun that was found here in Rochester and used in the last officer involved shooting that actually caused a fatal of one of our officers. That gun was traced back to somewhere that was mentioned in our last report. So we want to make sure that this data is very important. And Captain Mura, I just want to, that's something that I think, the community deserves to know at some point in time, whenever that time is obviously appropriate. But I think that information is not just that these guns are being taken off the street, but I think our intentions is to also connect the dots of if ghost guns we understand, but these other guns that are being taken, where are they coming from? I think that's a very, 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 very important dot to connect, and one we've been trying to connect since the inception of the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition. And I think that that's information that needs to be shared at some point in time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That information is crucial. It's important for everybody in this group. It's important for our public here in Rochester and Monroe County and Western New York, because these guns are coming from someplace, and it just seems like no matter how many we take off the street, more and more just keep coming in. So I couldn't agree more.
Thank you. Does anyone have any other questions for Captain Mura? Okay, Cap, thank you very much. We're going to go into our committee updates. Starting with crisis intervention.
Hello. Reporting from PIC.
Hello.
Hi. Everything is going well over here. As of May 1st to May 31st, we have seen 668 people. That was for PIC alone calls and co-responses. Lately, PIC have been, because of the inclement weather, we have been out passing out resources, cold water, light snacks to the unhoused individuals since over the weekend and now moving forward until the weather kind of lighten up a little bit. So we'll just continue to do that. We are fully staffed and all is well over here. Aaliyah's not here on this call right here to report out for homicides as well.
Thank you, Leslie. I would say you're on one of you co-chair one of the other committees as well, right? I believe education,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken, or is a resource. How are we doing with the resource guide?
That's along with Wanda, Aaliyah, and can't remember the other young lady's name, but everything is going well. We have completed our part. We're just waiting to put it all together now and get it all typed up, and we should be able to hand it over within the next maybe couple weeks.
Wonderful. All right, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for crisis intervention and Leslie? Okay, thank you, Leslie. Appreciate you.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So we are moving to, I don't see anyone here from the media advocacy and or we have Rev, Dr. Victoria. I see your hand up. Yes, ma'am. You can unmute. You're muted, hon. There
Good
you go.
evening, Counselor. Thank you for calling on me. I'm not sure why my hand was up.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I want to say, as a non-resident, and please don't throw tomatoes at me. I really appreciate all that you're doing, and I come away. Why do I attend? Because your work and your advocacy gives me hope. And I wish every city was doing what you're doing, and maybe they are, and I'm just not aware of it. But I just want to say heartfelt thank you, because I really think that if we don't come together, we're going to all cease to exist together. It's just, and I despair the level of gun violence that is tolerated. I remember, when shootings, and okay, individual shootings are just as heinous. I remember when mass shootings were big time news on the, now we have them every single day and they don't even make news anymore. It's just become the way America is. And that's something so wrong about that. And I think you as a city are showing that something can be done together to make a difference for the better. And I really just want to take this opportunity, seeing as for some reason my hand was up. Maybe it was just to say that keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And pardon me if I'm an interloper, but you give me hope.
Well, thank you, Reverend. We appreciate that. And on behalf of, I'm sure, all of the partners that represent us here and that come in day after day on boots on the ground, month after month, to come together collectively and work on educating, advocating, eradicating against gun violence. We thank you for sometimes this is work is goes unnoticed, if you will, or we don't hear that enough. But I'm sure everyone on this call is encouraged by your sentiments, and thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that.
You're
I really do.
welcome. Keep going.
Thank you. Keep praying for us. Septimus is on from
Always.
you. Thank you.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you so much, Councilman Lightfoot. Yeah, so Ruth and I have been talking. I'm not sure if she's on right now, but I know based off of what we discussed in the past, as well as like looking to continue doing more small scale events. An idea that we discussed was possibly an event towards the end of the summer at Genesee Valley Park, a back to school event where we're engaging youth that are more likely to come in contact with the criminal justice system. Another idea that we also had was based around violence interruption. I know one tactic that's been used in the past that people don't understand really does work is that having a presence in the community, especially in our zip codes that have higher crime rates or higher rates of shooting, us being able to actually have events, whether it be barbecues, picnics, things of that such, we disrupt that possibility of crime for that brief moment of time that we're there, and at least some forms of residual effects in this place. So our thought was, is this something that we can do as a coalition to be able to identify some of these zip codes and to be brave enough, because, it is challenging to be brave enough to be able to engage in those zip codes by doing small scale types of cookouts, community gatherings where we can actually be able to engage some of this youth that are in these spaces. Just because based off of my experience, I talk to and interact with kids almost every single day that are in the street that don't want to be in the street. A lot of these youth, they get a really bad rep for just wanting to be in the street all the time. But, majority of them, I speak to them, they just want to get a job. They just want to have a respectable individual that they can model their behaviors after. They just want opportunity to be able to be liked and not demonized. And, and that's coming from an individual like myself who is pretty strict and pretty conservative. And, and that's what we've seen a lot of is these youth, they want us to engage them, especially in these zip codes. I want to put my spiritual side aside, but the enemy really be fighting against us, and they really are in these kids' ears 24/7, And I just believe that our presence in these areas and being able to get folks who are willing to go in these different zip codes, and we can do barbecues, we can do community resource stuff, but mostly they just want food, they want some music, they want to engage with folks. So Ruth and I had a pretty long discussion about how we can possibly look to do that moving forward as a group. But especially we wanted to see, the thoughts behind possibly having a cookout of some such or a barbecue at Genesee Valley Park and inviting a lot of the young men that we see out in the street or that interact with our programs over to come hang out with us.
So let me address a couple of things there. First of all, I'm always this table and this coalition, and I appreciate that and I thank you. I think it's a great idea, but I think there's room for collaboration because there are
Absolutely.
some individuals who are doing these types of things. I know Wanda Ridgway's team does. I know Zeke's team, Pathways, their cookouts that they have and they're doing all across the city. I'm
Mhm.
aware of. So I wonder if there's room for you and Ruth and the youth committee to collaborate with Wanda, Serena, and Pathways, Zeke Num's team, to find out, first of all, when are they doing their programs, and then how can we build collaboration around, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We have people on our coalition that are already out in these streets doing this
Yeah.
type of work. Let's figure out ways to bridge, and build those bridges together. So I would offer that for consideration from the team. And then also I'd like to ask you, Septimus, last time we met, you did a presentation on some of your research, and
Yes.
then we were looking for some volunteers for youth. And I think we actually Dassy sent out a very particular request or ask,
Mhm.
and I wanted to know, did you get any feedback, and how's that going?
Awesome. So, couple things. It's so hot, man. I can't think, but you picked my brain just well, brother, because literally one part that I missed was that Ruth and I also talked about coordinating those efforts so that it's a coordinated effort so that the different programs are not tired out trying to target all this areas. So if we can actually all coordinate and collaborate with coming up with a schedule where each different organization will target a specific zip code at least once a week and have these events in those areas, then that way we can keep it going. So thank you for that. Also, since Dassy put out the information, I did get a email from her name is slipping my mind, but she's the representative. She's been with us for a while from Brady, and she's helping me to try to align the research and how it could look like moving forward. And as well as with Captain Mirror, I've been in contact with him and getting in contact with some of his departments that work with that do gun violence work and gun intervention work. So I'm just working through those steps right now to try to get those things going as well. So far it's been pretty decent feedback. And also the chief, the fire chief as well, he and I have been in contact as well to see how we can interact and being able to collaborate with the fire department, especially being in spaces where these attacks are happening. My daughter, sorry, y'all. Being in spaces where these attacks are happening so we can understand the culture of it better. All those things are very important. All those things are very important to understand the nature of the problem and to truly be able to come up with interventions that can be the most effective. So thank you, everyone. I truly appreciate your efforts.
Wanda, I saw your hand up. You want to unmute?
Hi, good evening, Councilman Lightfoot. Yes, I do want to let you guys know we do have a collaborative outreach, our Safe Summer Initiative, Walk, Talk, and Pray, which starts this Thursday. We will be at the Ryan Center. Starting in that area, I will send the corrected flyer. There was a couple of errors on the flyer, so I will send that out to you all. And I agree, Septimus, we were just having our outreach meeting today and talking about the importance, and after coming from California from a conference, is being out in the community, engaging in those zip codes. So you will be seeing a lot of us. That's what we will be doing. So I will definitely send that flyer out. Would love to collaborate with you and Ruth. Definitely, Septimus, give me a call because I do have an idea that we can do at the end of the summer.
Roger that, ma'am.
Wonderful. Well, just keep me abreast, guys, on how we can support from the council's perspective. We'd love to do that. And does anyone have any questions for the youth committee? All right. If none, we will move along to I don't think anyone's here from eradication or education. I believe that Or do we? Am I missing somebody? And maybe I don't see. I'll go straight into chairman's report. So, um, well, I would say that we are as far as we're pretty much on track for the three things that we set out this year as priorities. We have been constantly realigning our work with the Truth Behind Crime Guns report that we did, and the last Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition Solution Action Plan. So we have been really trying to align our work with that. In regards to that work, the three things that we kind of looked at for prioritizing in this year were to the resource guide, which we just heard from Leslie, should be we have something within the next couple of weeks. That's very important. The gun trace data report, the second gun trace data report, which I'm happy to say that the mayor is very seems to be very positive about. I just received an email from him the other day looking to set up another meeting. I think that Brady and all of the individuals involved are ready to move forward. So it looks like that we will be in a good place to begin that second gun trace data report. And then the third thing was the data tool, the new data hub / lake house or whatever you want to call it. We're saying we're really trying to. We had a very good last meeting with our data committee, and we invited all stakeholders. We had a really good in-person meeting, and it was actually a hybrid meeting that went really well. And we realized that there is a lot of interest and support behind having a new data tool to create and that we're looking to do to have a pilot program to put together what this could look like. So at our next meeting, we have a meeting coming up real soon, next Monday, I believe. And at that meeting, we'll begin to start working out the framework of what it would look like to have a pilot program of this new comprehensive data hub that we're looking to build here for our community. And so we're excited about that. And we're moving in that direction, and we seem to have a lot of support from our stakeholders and interest, and people saying that is definitely needed, and there's a demand for it, and so and a high interest. So we're excited about that. But those are the three things. All three of them are coming to completion, or 2 out of 3. The data hub probably is going to be a little more of a longer lift, if you will, a heavier lift, just because there's a lot more working parts in that. Agreements, we got to write a pilot program, and then we got to put together all the intricate details in regards to that. But nonetheless, we're moving forward in that. It's summertime, so I want to encourage all of us, especially those like Wanda and her team and Zeke and their team, to really get much information to DASI as possible as we build our calendar for the year. I say this at every meeting. You're going to hear me continue to say it. I don't want us competing with each other over events. I truly want us to be able to support each other in our events. So if we have the events ahead of time, those who are planning can plan hopefully around our partners. Those who already have things, we can be supportive of what and sharing your stuff in our particular circles and networks, and be supportive of each other and each other's events. I think that's, I want to be intentional about that, but we can't if we don't know. So I'm asking you, please, sir, please, ma'am, those of you who know you have things on the calendar for this summer, please get those to DASI. We'll start putting out all of the information that we can to our partners, so that hopefully we won't be planning events around at the same time each other, especially if we're meeting every month, right? And we're talking every month. I don't think that that's something that we can prevent. We can be preventative on that. All right. And so, does anybody have any questions for me? I see. Thank you, Cherie. She says she's in eradication. She don't have any updates at this point. Thank you. And I know Council President, he's on the campaign trail. So we realized that, he told me once he's finished.
We working.
Yeah, I know. You got folks out there working, Louis, various others, wishing all of you guys good luck. But after tomorrow, it'll be a lot more calmer. I think people will be, won't be as busy, and we'll have majority of our folks who weren't able to attend tonight will be back with us by our next meeting. So he did send his regards and let me know that, obviously he's fully on board with our work, and he will be returning real soon. Anybody have any other things you want to bring out? Does anybody have anything that they want to share?
I do, Councilman Lightfoot.
Yes.
On July 12th, Rise Up, my team, we're coming together to honor not only violence prevention worker, but service workers in the community. Councilman Lightfoot, this is your invitation because you will be honored with our James Slater Award for the work that you do with the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition. So we want to thank you. That's going to be July 12th. I will send out the formal invite to DASI for others, but we will be honoring, I think we have 30 individuals in the community that we're going to be honoring that's doing great work, that's never recognized for the work that they do.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm honored. You caught me a little off guard, but but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'm looking at my schedule, and just I happen to be in town that weekend too. So that's great. I plan to be there. So looking forward to it, and looking forward to seeing all the others as well and supporting that work. Does anyone? Thank you again. I really appreciate it. Does anyone else have anything else you want to bring to this space tonight? Feel free to unmute yourself. If not, I'm not gonna hold you. I'll give you 20 minutes back of your time today. All right. Well, let me see. Hey, Rev, is Rev still there? Where'd the Rev go? Hey, Rev, unmute if you don't mind, please, ma'am.
There. Good evening again.
Would you lead us out in prayer, please?
It would be my honor.
Okay. Floor is yours. Go ahead.
Let us pray. Dear God of all names, you know everyone's heart, and you know everyone's intentions, and you know everyone's call to be the very best person you have created us to be. Be with us as we tackle a very formidable and discouraging part of society's ills. The violence that is around us every day, but especially with firearms. It is easy to become cynical and discouraged and despondent. And we need your strength to reject all of those options and to stay firmly convinced that your way is the way of justice and peace, but justice without violence. We know that you have created us for kindness and for togetherness and for your vision that this world can be heaven on earth. Please be with us in the moments of despair as well as the joy. Be with us in the moments of pain and fear, as well as the celebrations that summertime brings so freely to all of us. Help us to seize this moment and remember that we are all one in you. And we ask that you be with each of us as we part tonight to remember that no part of our work is in vain, and none of us are anything other than precious and beautiful and wise and determined to come together to end this scourge called violence with guns. Be with us for peaceful hearts, peaceful homes, peaceful streets, and peaceful institutions based on love and respect and justice making in peace. We ask this in all your holy names. Amen.
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 Family, may God bless you. May God keep you as always our prayer. Be safe and hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Blessings.
Good night.
Peace, good people.
Amen. Namaste.
Good night.
Bye-bye.